What a day. Wow. Well, it's time for Talking Numbers. How to profit from consumer trends that have emerged in the current economy. Our next guest uses the acronym FLAT, F-L-A-T, to describe consumer-oriented sectors that should thrive. FLAT stands for food, living arrangements, apparel, and transportation. We're Talking Numbers with Kevin O'Brien, CEO at Revere Data. Thank you so much for joining us. Kevin, let's start with the food and living arrangements sector. What do you find there?
Well, what we found is there's some very strong growth potential. When you're looking at the food sector, you're hearing investors looking for bargains. We're seeing that consumers are doing the same thing when they're shopping. And so we identified 13 companies, both in the wholesale, wholesale distribution and retail, as well as in discount stores. And if you look at the performance of these 13 companies, like Costco and BJ Wholesale, they've done exceptionally well over the past 3 months. And then if you look at the 12-month chart versus the S&P, they've done very, very well. And then going into living arrangements, the housing market's been very negative, but we're looking for pockets of resistance, and we found a group of real estate investment trusts focused in apartments. And if you look at them over a 12-month period, they return about 19%. And even better, they're producing a 3.3% dividend, which is about 50% higher than the yields on the S&P 500 and the 10-year treasuries.
Okay. What about apparel and transportation? How are they stacking up against the S&P?
Same story. They're doing very well, both in the short term and long term. So when you're thinking about consumers looking for high-end brands but might be willing to wait a season or two to get some discounts, some of the discount retailers have been doing very well over the 3 and 12-month period. And then the last area is auto and transportation. A lot of focus on the major manufacturers. But we've also been thinking about, as consumers are holding on to their cars longer, who are some of the support companies, people like AutoZone and others, that could benefit. And you're seeing, again, on a 3 and 12-month period, these sectors have done very, very well, and we think they're going to continue to do well.
So, Kevin, give me your bottom line on this.
Well, we think if there's a lot of talk in the marketplace right now about flights to quality, moving to gold, and moving to treasuries, and we're seeing that if you look at these 4 very basic sectors, really, food and living and apparel and transportation, we think there's some really wonderful companies that are growing, producing solid earnings, and producing dividends in certain sectors, and we think investors should definitely take a look.
Yeah, we like that, especially on a day when gold is down $65. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
You bet.